Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It is September 1st, 2023. Here's what's happening today in America. The trial of the century, televised. Texas Supreme Court protects children. Paycheck to paycheck. And Nebraska breaking records. It's all coming up. Then Bill will be here with your message of the day. But first, the Donald Trump trial in Atlanta will be televised and live streamed. It's the new OJ trial. The judge, who by the way is 34, he is too young to even run for president. And he's been a judge for like a few months. He says he will allow a YouTube stream of the trial. No cameras will be allowed in the other courtrooms for the other three groups of indictments. The Texas Supreme Court has allowed a ban on gender-affirming care for minors. That's what they call it, gender-affirming. It is in reality permanently altering a child's natural puberty process, followed by often genital and body mutilation. Texas lawmakers said, yeah, we're not going to allow that here. A higher court said, no, it must be allowed. And now the Texas Supreme Court said, nope, the people and the legislature has spoken. A pro-genital mutilation group says the court threatens not only the physical health, but also the mental and emotional well-being of countless Texans. Keep in mind, these are kids under 18. 61% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 80% of people who make less than $50,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. But 40% of Americans earning over $100,000 a year are also living paycheck to paycheck. Inflation, of course, a major factor, but it's also spending too much. Non-essential items, traveling, eating out, and streaming services. 10% of people say the top reason why they're living paycheck to paycheck are these non-essential things. They just don't care about living paycheck to paycheck, at least not enough to stop spending money. I never thought I'd share a women's volleyball story, but here we are in Nebraska. The University of Nebraska women's volleyball team filled Memorial Stadium. That's the football stadium. 92,003 fans watched a women's college volleyball game. From way up, you couldn't even see the game. This broke the record for the largest crowd to ever watch a women's sporting event. The previous record was in 2022 in Barcelona for a women's soccer match, and the previous record in America was 90,185 at the Women's World Cup final at the Rose Bowl in 1999. I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith. I hope you have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Bill is here with your message of the day. Next.
Hey, if you watch my program or have been paying attention at all since COVID, you are aware of the risks we all face to our supply chain, critical infrastructure, and the power grid. Cyber attacks, gunfire, pandemics, all on the table. What would your family do facing a months-long blackout? No electricity, no fridge, no phone, no respirator, and an empty grocery store. Well, 4 Patriots has a new solar-powered portable generator. It harnesses the power of the sun, can be moved around the house, and is used to power essentials in a time of crisis. So don't procrastinate on ensuring your family's well-being at a time they need it most. Please go to 4patriots.com today. Use my code NOSPIN for 10% off. That's the number 4, patriots.com. Again, use code NOSPIN for 10% off. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Friday, as Americans begin celebrating the Labor Day weekend, word is House investigators are set to present more evidence about the massive Biden family grift. CBS News is reporting this using anonymous sources. If true, President Biden will have to begin wrapping things up. Already, many Democrats understand that his reelection will almost be impossible. As I reported earlier this week, in less than 3 years, the Biden administration has run up $5.1 trillion in debt. In 4 years, the big spending Donald Trump added $4.1 trillion. Both presidents had to deal with COVID, to be fair. Now, Mr. Biden's spending is essentially vote buying, and the damage he is doing to America financially will be felt for years. The country is amassing debt at warp speed, and workers are already taxed to the max. So it would be a blessing on all fronts if Joe Biden were to retire. As every poll demonstrates, Americans know the country is on the wrong track. In fact, the recent polling says 3/4 of American voters believe America is on the slide. No incumbent president should run with a record like that. So the beach beckons, Joe. Heed the call. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Okay, let's go to the mail. We got Charlie Fish, Colonial Heights, Virginia. Great memo on the progressive movement. Scary, but very good description. How much of our government are progressive, and is there enough traditionalists, regardless of party, control them? The answer to the second question is yes. DeSantis has controlled the progressives in Florida by confronting them, though they can be controlled. I don't know how many progressives there are because there aren't any real studies on it. I'm putting a number at 20%. Ardent liberals are usually progressive. Jordan Rickard, Toronto, Canada. I enjoyed your analysis of the progressive movement last night. Once again, you can see that on BillO'Reilly.com. What does Mark Zuckerberg hope to gain by donating such huge amounts of money to the Democratic Party? He wants progressive power, Zuckerberg. That's what he wants. So he's ready to pony up $400 million like he did in the 2020 election. Claudia on the message board. I'm 90% certain that Zuck Bucks manipulation that happened in 2020 is being planned again. Maybe funded by the same guy. Maybe other progressive billionaires are clamoring to get in on the action. You're right, but they don't violate any law. The Supreme Court ruled that you can donate unlimited amounts of money to political action committees for their purposes. Republicans do the same thing. Ethan is a concierge member. Hey, Bill, I'm wondering why you purposely ignore the influence of Chris Christie. In New Hampshire, he is nearly beating Trump. So I don't believe that Chris Christie has any chance to win the Republican nomination. You'll remember that Pat Buchanan, the pundit, at one time won the New Hampshire primary. I don't ignore Chris Christie. I analyzed his performance at the debate. I think he should lighten up, and I'm not talking about his weight. He's a little intense out there, and he's a little too, I hate Trump. It's my analysis of him, but I certainly don't ignore him. In a moment, something you might not know. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 414 years ago this week, a British explorer sailed into Delaware Bay for the first time. No, Joe Biden was not on the beach to greet him. Sorry, couldn't resist. Here is the story of Henry Hudson. The Englishman launched his journey to North America in 1609 on behalf of the Dutch East India Company. Hudson explored vast sections of the continent, including Chesapeake Bay, Delaware, Virginia. He was the first European to explore the area that would eventually become New York City. Henry believed the waterway running along the west coast of Manhattan, later named the Hudson River, would lead him to the Pacific Ocean, China, and eventually provide a path back to Europe. He was wrong. He reversed course and returned to England and Holland, then launched another 3 expeditions to find a western route to Asia. Things did not end well for Henry Hudson. His last expedition departed London in April 1610. The crew sailed beyond Greenland, then into northern Canada. After 3 months, his ship, the Discovery, became trapped by ice and freezing temperatures. The group sailed ashore to wait out the winter. Lacking food or supplies, the expedition slowly starved. On June 22, 1611, the remaining crew mutinied against the 46-year-old Hudson. They forced Henry into a tiny lifeboat along with his teenage son and 7 supporters. The group was cast into the frozen sea and never seen again. Although Hudson vanished in the Arctic, his discoveries gave England its claim to vast sections of the New World. And here's something else you might not know. Henry Hudson's legacy lives on. 3 of the most noteworthy bodies of water in North America, the Hudson River, Hudson Strait, and Hudson Bay, are all obviously named in his honor. But all in all, it was a rough life and death for Henry Hudson. Back after this. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped 20%, and this year could be worse. You are right to be worried. So please call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I have been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.